Hi everyone. So Zoom has made it has made life easier, and it also has made us I don't know, like we're able to multitask. And we know that multitasking is a myth, but this ties into what I'm talking about today. But you can hear I'm on a webinar with one of my coaches, one for support, and two, I always, just love what she talks about. But she was one of my coaches for a certain period of time, mainly in the area of personal development. And she's also helping me with a big project that I'm planning for 2022. So I'm on here on Zoom. Hopefully I can remain mute. I'll keep, my name is on there so she knows I'm here. But it's interesting, like, we're like, oh, we don't have time to do things. And then we have the virtual space that allows us to be more flexible, but then it's like we're cramming in more things. So I'm trying to record and then listen to her. Yeah. I am Dr. Vernita Glenn White. I go by Dr. V, and I am your Brilliant Life Strategist. And like I said, this ties into what I'm going to talk about today. So remember the title. And what I do is help high achieving, ambitious professional women who are in sort of a transition. They may want to be parallelpreneurs, but they are definitely looking to seek more personal satisfaction and life fulfillment beyond their positions, titles, and degrees. And I help them through a series of things, but the overall thing, one, is embracing brilliance. That's the umbrella of what I help people do, is embrace brilliance. And we do that by reclaiming your voice with confidence. We do that with realigning with your core values with clarity. And we also help you embrace reinvention with courage. And with that being said, the topic is, do I need a strategist, a coach, consultant? So this is what I found. It says, and I like this, and then I'll put my little spin on it. It says, go to a strategist if you need to figure things out or make decisions on the big picture or something specific. Go to a consultant if you need knowledge or execution support on a particular topic. Go to a coach if you need work on your mindset and behaviors to better reach your goals. And then for a while, I labeled myself as a strategic transformational coach or a strategic coach. And then I changed it to the Brilliant Life Strategist, because I just want to have something unique and different and that supports the movement that I'm on. But I do like strategic coaching. So it was like a strategist and a coach with a little bit of consulting, but not too much. So when I consult, I go tell people, this is what you said you want to do. This is how you do it. Do what I say, and you will get the results that you want. Not in a pushy way, because you still listen to the client, but they came to you for a particular set of skills, and they want to know like the steps to do that. I'm a strategist, like it says, big picture, and then a coach is with behaviors and mindset. I like strategic coach because while I do understand the purpose of coaching is really a lot of questioning and helping the client get the results that are already inside of them. The strategy part is, but we also put systems and structures in place and some tools for you to follow. So how do you know when you need one? Well, first we're going to start with how do you know when not to use one? So one thing that I would say, and then I saw this somewhere and I was like, that is perfect. And some of this I wish I would have known before I started hiring my own coaches. And then now that I am working in this space of a strategic coach, I talk to my potential clients, even before we, book a call, they answer some questions, we get on the call, we filter out some things, because I was like, I don't want you to make the same mistake that I made, and I'm not just here to get your money. This has to work for both of us. So the first thing to know when not to hire a coach is you want someone to fix what's wrong in your life. I made this mistake when I went straight to business coaching, like at this top level, and I was looking for someone, that particular person, to fix me in business because I thought that something was wrong with me, why I couldn't get it together. So I was looking for that person to fix me. And when I felt that they couldn't fix me, that's when I was like, oh, this doesn't work. She's horrible. And she was not horrible. Chick is on point. But at that time, my lens was different. And I went in like already with a hole or bleeding or just not with the right mindset. So that's not to say that you have to be perfect to get coaching. We'll get into some of that later, but the main reason to go to a coach or a strategist is not for them to fix you, okay? The other reason not to hire a strategic coach like myself and so many others is if you have deep psychological issues. And while part of what I do is transformational work and it does deal with mindset and behavior, if it's something to where it takes you into a very dark place, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't see myself bringing you out of that with the tools, strategies, and structure. If it's something that's really deep-seated, that's beyond the scope of my expertise and training, and I tell people I am a doctor, but not that kind of doctor. I study behavior and analysis and a little bit of psychology, but that is not my profession. So when it comes to something like that, I've worked with clients, and just even when I'm just out talking with people, I know when it's something that's like, this is beyond like coaching. This is something that you really need to go to a therapist or a counselor to talk with. There's nothing wrong with therapy. I have been to a therapist, and sometimes I'm like, you might need to go back and have one on retainer, because there are just some things that they're trained to do, trained to look for, to really help you. And some stuff you may need some medication, and not saying that you need to depend on medication, but maybe it's a little bit to get some things straight, and then you can kind of even out and then go to coaching. So if it's something deep psychological, that is not time for you to go to a coach or a strategist or anything like that. You need to go to a licensed therapist, licensed counselor, and not be ashamed, because your mental wellness, that determines how you're going to perform when you get in a coaching environment. So I hope that makes sense. Another reason, when I saw this, I was like, yep, that's true. Another reason not to hire a coach or strategist is you want someone to act as your wise friend. So it's like you're paying for a friend. And some friends will, go along with the flow with you and tell you what you want to hear. And then you do have some friends that, will tell you like it is. But there's still a level of friendship where everyone doesn't have a group of friends that actually tell them like the full truth with how they need to hear it. And sometimes it's not your friend's job. You don't want to put that pressure on your friend. But I have friends that tell me the truth, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't always want to okay, I hope you follow what I'm saying. But you don't want to go to a coach or a strategist as your friend, because that's not their role. Their role is not to be your friend. I do want to like my clients, and I do want my clients to like me. And I want to be in a position to where, not that we have to hang out, but if we decide to, I would have no problem, right? But I am not their friend. And even when friends have hired me, I was like, look, you sure? Because I can recommend you to someone. They're like, no, I want you. Then we have to set some ground rules. Like, I'm not coming to you as a friend. I'm coming to you as this is what I do, right? So, and they know that. So we lay that expectation there, but I hold you accountable. And like I said, friends do that, but it's a little different when you have someone who doesn't know all of your ins and outs, and they can tell you from a really objective perspective. And even my friends that I have coached, it does take work. I constantly have to remind myself to look bigger like they're another client. I don't recommend always having your friends as clients, but when they come to you and say no for real and they're serious about it, and then you get serious about it, then you're able to be as objective as possible. But don't go to people talking about you want to hire them because you just want a friend. Okay? So now we're going to get into the reasons why you should hire, or I don't want to say should, the reasons why it would be a good idea for you to consider hiring a life strategist or a strategic coach, as I'm going to say. So sometimes you need someone to help you when something wonderful has happened. And this goes to what I talk about a lot, is that we're under-celebrated as a society. We don't really brag on ourselves. We don't really boast about the good things that happen. And believe it or not, you want somebody to be able to share those things with and help you process. And for people who may not, that may be new to some people. So you want to have mainly a real life coach to help you process those good things, to see how wonderful it is. And then if you add the strategy part of it, is really looking at the steps that it took you to get that result, because we want to continue having results, and what gets celebrated gets repeated. So helping someone to help you see that this is wonderful and how it's wonderful, and then to help you sit with that could be a reason for you to hire a coach or strategist or strategic coach. That may not be for everyone, because everyone doesn't think that way, but I just want to give you a different perspective on that. Another reason to happen, and this kind of goes with mine, is that something terrible has happened in your life. Some abrupt change, some sort of disruption has happened in your life, and you're spinning. And not to the point where, it gets to where you need a therapist, but it's whoa, I was not prepared for this. Where is this coming from? I don't know how to get myself out of this predicament. We're not talking about one situation, but we're talking a life change. And it's whoa, especially when you're so used to having things in place, you're used to having a plan, and then things get thrown completely off to where you know how to be flexible, but this is something totally new. So having a strategic coach with you to help you process, to help you see what worked, to see where the pitfalls were, and then to make a plan moving forward to get you out of that situation, or to better manage that situation from, again, an objective perspective. That is also helpful and a good time to hire a strategic coach. Another reason to hire a strategic coach is if nothing has happened, nothing. Your life is just, it is what it is. I wake up, this is what I do. I've reached this plateau. There's nothing wonderful that has happened. There's nothing horrible that has happened. You're just kind of even. And there's a difference between being content and then being just too comfortable. Being content means life is good, but there's nothing wrong with you wanting more. Just being comfortable, you're chilling, you're not trying to stretch too far, you're not trying to grow, you're not really shrinking, you're just going with the flow. But that there is more. You're sitting around wait a minute, I've been in this same position in life, whether that's in career, health, finances, community involvement, whatever the case may be, because there is a coach for everything. And you just look up one day and you're wait a minute, I've been the same weight, all these years. And then you come across a picture and it's wait a minute, why am I holding on to these extra 20 pounds? It's it's not you're not feeling overweight, and you're not feeling your best. You're cool with it, but it's kind of wait a minute, there was a time when this was not here. I'm kind of like that right now. I'm kind of like that. And then it's you're in your career, you've been doing the thing, and then you look up because you were on this grind, and then you look up, it's wait a minute, I've been at the same position, the same salary, the same people for the last 3 to 5 years. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So at least if something terrible is happening to you, there's some kind of shift and disruption, right? And you can see if you have a pulse. And if something wonderful has happened, there's still a shift, and then you have a pulse. But if nothing is happening, then yeah, you might want to go talk to somebody to figure out where you can start shaking up your life, if that's your heart's desire. But you know. Another way to decide if you want to hire a strategic coach is if you want to make things happen. And this is kind of my sweet spot. Like I said, my people are mainly parallelpreneurs. They're already ambitious and successful and all of those things, but they want more. And they're so used to going one particular way. When it's time to have that extension of themselves or to expand their brilliance, it's okay, I want to make this happen, but I just don't know how. I know I have the perseverance. I know I have the grit. I know I have all of that, but for some reason I can't get this thing to happen. And then when you have a strategic coach, then it's like, well, let's look at your plan. What are your goals? Let's look at those milestones. And then if there's something that is hindering you, the mindset part, that's why I like strategic coaching, is because, yeah, we have a plan, but we're going to look at this holistic view as to see why you are being stuck. And that goes for the other ones as well, like why, but really when you're trying to make it happen, or when you, and it goes into the next one I'm about to talk about, but it's really that accountability piece as well. Because people I've worked with, they've achieved some great things, but they don't realize how they achieve those things. So I come in and say, this is how you achieve them, and then hold them accountable. So when you know that you have this particular goal, or you want to have this particular breakthrough, you may not know all the ins and outs, but you need someone that's objective that will keep you on track. That's when you should hire, or it would be a good idea for you to hire a strategic coach. Another way to think about when should you hire a strategic coach is when you're stuck. And that's a little different than nothing has happened, because when you're stuck, you try to make some movement. When nothing has happened, you didn't stop, nothing. But when you're stuck, it's like you've taken yourself as far as you can go. For example, writing a book. You wanted to write a book. And let's say you've gotten the outline, you've got some chapters and things in place, but you can't quite close the loop on how to wrap this up and to get it published. A coach, especially a strategic one will ask you, well, what is the goal that you're trying to accomplish? And then let's figure out how we can do this. Is it something mental to where that's blocking you and it's a reason why, or do you just you don't have the strategy and the structure that you need to have in place? And then another reason, especially when you're stuck, a strategic coach is supposed to help you close the loop faster. So I like to say quicker, sooner, faster. To help you close that loop. So if you've been struggling for months, or even some people I know years, to complete a book, when you hire a strategic coach, especially in the area, like specifically for writing a book, they're supposed to be able to help you to knock that out in no time. Now you can come to like a holistic strategic coach, someone like me, and then we can figure out some things. But I will say, if it's something to where that it is something with the skill set, then I know how to reference you out. There is no shame in me saying I can get you to this point, but I know someone that's specifically in this publishing and book writing place. So, you just weigh your options and see which one. So if it's not a hang up, something internally, then go straight for the publisher or book coach kind of person. But if you're not sure, then you can start with the strategic coach if you're trying to figure out how you're stuck. So I hope that makes sense. This is also my sweet spot is helping people figure out what's next. If you've taken yourself as far as you can go, and this is different from being stuck, because stuck is, example, I need to finish this book. I just can't close the loop on these last few chapters or to get published. I heard some move. The other part is almost like a health and wellness coaches. If it's you've worked out, you've done everything you can, but it's like those last 10 pounds. That's stuck. But for what's next is your body looks good, right? You've gotten yourself where you want to go, and we can stay with the book. The book is published. Next steps would be, do you want to be an Amazon bestseller? Do you want to be an international bestseller? Do you want to be a New York Times bestselling author? For your weight, let's say you got your body right. Well, do you want to go into any kind of competitions? Are you trying to look to start something to help people get on their journey? What's another for weight? Anything like that. With finances, let's say you're a good saver. You've been able to do some things, accumulate some money. Now it's what am I going to do with this money that I've saved for personal growth and what my area is. Life is good. Career is good. Family is good. But maybe you want to see have you considered looking into how to be a leader in your community? Have you considered really tighten up your network? So just things like that. What is next? So not that everything is bad, not that everything is falling apart, not that you're stuck or anything, but it's a what's next. So that's another way to determine if you should hire a strategic coach. my favorite, and I've said this about the last two, but definitely for time management. And honestly, it's not really time management. It's like time integration and optimization, because we really can't manage the time. We can be good stewards of time, but time is its own thing. And having a strategic coach, and I've done this with people, look at your overall plan and see where you have pockets of time to do what you said you wanted to do, and to hold them accountable. A lot of times people like to say, I don't have time, I don't have time. Yes, you do. You just don't know how to be a good steward of the time that you have, and you optimize or maximize your time. The other day I was out at an event, and someone asked me, well, how's it going? And then I kind of let out a sigh, and it was like, busy, huh? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, no. I haven't really been that busy, to tell you the truth, because I used to glorify being busy, but it's like, are you being productive? And that's a whole nother conversation. And I was like, no, I use the time for what I have the time for. And then when I don't want to do anything, I don't do anything. And now that I'm in this transition, I probably need to stop saying I'm in this transition, because I'm in it now. But it's like I'm learning, and I have learned for the more than I have, is to use the time that I have and stop putting things off. So having a strategic coach help you, and it sounds so simple, but now that I've looked at this in my life and then helped others, people really don't recognize how much time they waste, and then they don't realize, like, you don't have to cram everything in one day either. Like, that's why the good Lord blessed us with 7 whole days and 24 whole hours. We get to figure out how we want to do that. And sometimes I think we think we have to follow like other people's rules or other people's schedules, but just learning what works for you truly, what works for you truly. So that's another way to determine if it's time for you to hire a strategic not transformation, but a strategic coach. And you can do that in any area of your life. Like, there is literally a coach for everything and everybody. And truth be told, it really all boils down to mindset, strategies, and structure. If you know that you need help with that, or not even help, yes, help, but if you know that you want to also go to another level and you need someone outside of yourself and outside of your circle, that is when you can hire someone. You can have mentors, you can read books, you can do all of that. But the goal of a coach and a strategist and even a consultant is to collapse time and space. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And if you have another tip of what made you, if you hired one, but what made you hire a coach or a consultant, or if you hired a strategist. And sometimes strategist isn't used in the personal development space, but is used in the business space. But I've looked it up, and you can apply it there. So yeah, let me know some strategies. When did you know that it was time for you to hire one? Or if you feel like, no, I don't need to hire one, and then tell me why not. And remember that we are in a giveaway, so comment down below. Make sure you subscribe, and then go back if you have not done so to catch up on Vlogmas, so you can be entered into the giveaway, because we're coming up on it soon. All right, so thank you so much for listening and learning with me. I am Dr. V, and I'm so glad that we're in this dialogue together. Remember, the dialogue is down in the comments below. And as we head towards the new year, the new season, I'm still going to continue saying this, but remember to, especially during the holiday seasons, right? Holiday season, remember to be well. Be well within your soul, in your mind, in your spirit, because I know the holiday season can be tough. Be empowered. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I had a conversation with my dad the other day, and he said something that his wife didn't agree with. And I was like, you don't have to do that. You know that, right? So be empowered to make your decisions that's best for you. Be bold. Yes, be bold, especially those of us who are writing our plans for the next year and even the next decade of our lives, because you don't plan year by year, plan like years ahead. Take the risk. Boldness equals risk. Take the risk and dream and think of the possibilities. So be bold in that. And then be brilliant. You've already come with a complete set of skills that you're already born with. And then on top of that, you've learned a tremendous amount of skills. So make sure you embrace all of that and then go expand it. So until next time, bye.